This is how you can go from having zero energy and motivation to do anything to having limitless energy and focus and motivation so that you can actually get things done quicker, faster, and efficiently. By the end of this video, you'll leave with the exact framework I use to get out of my lazy girl era and to start doing something productive with my life. Most productivity techniques, such as the Pomodoro technique, doesn't really solve the root cause of why you don't have focus or why you're procrastinating or why you're not productive enough. And so that's why today I'm really about to share with you what exact things you can do to have more energy, more focus, and more productivity. First thing that is the quickest and easiest thing that you can do is to change the environment that you're working, studying, or creating in. If your environment is riddled with things that'll increase the probability of you getting distracted, then you need to change your environment because you are gonna get distracted. In order to tailor an environment in which we're productive, focused, and energized in, we need to create an environment that lowers and minimizes the probability of us getting distracted, especially when we are doing the highest intensity task of our day. So how do we do that? Okay, first of all, you need to identify exactly what things cause you to increase the probability of you getting distracted. My top 5 things were people, especially distracting people, and people that I just cannot focus around because I just love talking to them. Second of all was snackable foods. The third thing is music. If this music isn't white noise, then I'm jamming out to my music and being distracted and not staying on task. The fourth thing is distracting apps and sites such as YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, everything. And the fifth thing were my thoughts. And so I'm sure that if you sit down and try to analyze exactly what things are probably distracting you, your list isn't going to be that far off from mine. That means that you can use the exact same framework that I use to minimize my distractions in my environment. If you have distracting apps on your phone or on your laptop, then use an ad blocker or use focus modes on your iPhone to help you focus. If you have your phone near you while you're working, keep it in a place where your mind doesn't go to it, where you don't see it, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, okay? So if you're out in a cafe working, put it in your bag. If you're in your room, hide it under your bed, okay? So keep distracting things out of your sight. Create your digital environment such that it has no instant stimulation the moment you open it, okay? So for example, my Chrome bookmarks bar is just folders. There's no icons of websites that I can click upon immediately, because before it was just all of the websites and then I would just have the impulse to just click on the freaking email or click on like a website as soon as I open Chrome, even if I didn't even have the intention of opening the app, right? But once I put it all into folders and I removed all the distractions from my Google Chrome, then that's when I started to actually stay on task and not get distracted by the things that was on my bookmarks bar. If you're distracted by people or you're distracted by food, go to a silent location, right? So for me, if I'm distracted by people, I'm gonna do my highest intensity work in my room in the morning because first of all, there's no people. Second of all, I'm also not even hungry in the morning. So that means my focus is best in the morning, and this is literally just what I found works for me, right? And you really have to experiment what works for you. Take all this knowledge, apply it, and see what works for you, and add or cut out anything that doesn't work. You really want to match your task with your environment, right? So if you have super high intensity tasks that you need to get done and you are in a distracting environment, you are not going to get it done. So the second thing I've done was created myself a schedule for me to follow so that I know exactly what I need to do the next day or 2 days from now. Because if you sit there and allow yourself to do a task for the whole day, your task is going to fill up for the time that you allowed for it, right? So if you allow yourself the whole day to finish the task, it is going to take you the whole day to finish that task. Great way to schedule out your next 3 to 4 days is to use Google Calendar or Apple Calendar or just any of the calendar apps and just fill your schedule around what tasks you know you need to complete throughout the day, right? This is a great way to create time pressure in your life so that you actually get the thing done, right? Because the thing is, sometimes if you don't have enough time pressure, then you're just like, bro, what is the point of doing all this anyways, right? It's due in like 10 days. There's like nothing to do here. But instead, if you allow yourself pressured by the time that you've allowed for yourself, then you're actually more likely to finish this task and get it over with so that you can move on to things that you actually want to do. Every time you start your task, put on a timer where you can see it. When you have this timer on, it also helps to create this time pressure. And it's also like, if you don't finish this task right now within these next 30 minutes, then you're not going to be able to work on it later. And that means you're going to be screwed in the end, right? So that's why pressurize yourself to finish this task in the moment and not leave it for later and not procrastinate on it. And so the third thing that I started doing to increase my energy and have limitless motivation and productivity was to start exercising. Exercising is a key activity in helping you cultivate limitless energy and productivity because it helps to strengthen the mind-body connection. And so the thing with exercising and doing weightlifting or whatever type of exercising you're doing is that you don't want to be distracted by your phone while you're doing this exercising, because I feel like it just defeats the whole point and purpose of exercising, because exercising is really more of a meditative activity in which you really do get to strengthen this mind-body connection and strengthen discipline and focus. And if you can strengthen your discipline and your focus, then you're much more likely to be able to apply that same discipline and focus that you cultivated in the gym into your daily tasks, into the schoolwork, into the work that you do, into the creations. If you're a creator, student, business owner, it doesn't matter who you are, it really just helps to spread around the strengthened mind-body connection and focus and discipline. Fourth thing that I started doing was to start journaling and writing down all my thoughts on paper or on a document. If we have a cluttered mind, then we're not able to focus all of our energy onto the task that we're doing, right? Because if our mind is cluttered, then our energy is trying to just go a little bit in every single one of our thoughts, right? When in reality, if we have our energy spread out in all those different little thoughts all at once, we're not going to be able to focus at the task on hand. We're going to get more easily distracted, and we're not going to be able to finish our work and stay energized throughout the day. We're literally just going to be left feeling drained and not wanting to do the thing that we need to do, and to just procrastinate because we don't even have enough energy to do the task that we know we have to do. So that's why journaling is a great way to let go of these thoughts and offload them onto paper or on the doc. And so especially if you are working and trying to stay on task and you find that you have some random impulsive thought, just write it down. If you're like thinking about the past, if you're thinking about the future, if you're thinking about whatever, just write it down while you're working, right? So that you offload the thought that you just have onto paper so you can look back at it later and to stay focused on what you're currently doing and not get distracted. So that brings me on to the end of my video, right? The top 5 things that you need to do to gain limitless energy and productivity is, first of all, to tailor your environment to your tasks and tailor it so that you have a lower probability of you getting distracted, right? The second thing is to create a schedule for yourself and to create time pressure so that you actually finish the task without getting distracted. The third thing is to start exercising to help cultivate and grow the mind-body connection and focus and apply that focus into other areas of your life. And the fourth thing was to start journaling or start writing down your thoughts on a notepad or on your phone or on your document so that you have a clear mind when you are about to work, or even while you're working, your mind gets cleared and stays on task and isn't distracted by the 100 different thoughts that you have because you offloaded them onto paper or document or whatever. And so that brings me to the end of my video. If you liked the video that I created today, consider liking, subscribing, or sharing this video to someone who may also use it. If you want to get an exclusive sneak peek of every video that I create or may not even create, consider subscribing to my weekly newsletter, Glow Up Fridays. If you like this video, you might also like this video up on screen. I'm Krisha, and I will see you next week.